Good morning and welcome back to Sunday Club. Did you have a good Easter holiday? We loved being able to go and meet up with some of our family out of doors, and as we drove we saw all sorts of signs of spring. One of the things I especially noticed was the sheep and lambs. It really seems like spring when you see lambs in the fields. It's not only in this country that sheep and lambs can be seen. We have a lot. In Scotland there are more sheep than people. But many countries have even more. That makes spring feel more like home for refugees and asylum seekers who have sheep in their own country. I love to see these pictures of asylum seekers in the Yorkshire Dales helping with the lambs. The farmers and shepherds are grateful for the help because it's hard work looking after the sheep. That's true here, and it was true in the lands that Jesus knew, where shepherds and their flocks were a familiar sight. Jesus often used the examples of shepherds to explain how he cares for us. Let's listen to this Bible story about the Good Shepherd.
Jesus began to explain how much he loved his followers and cared for their safety. How could he help them to understand? He began to talk about himself as a shepherd and his followers as sheep. He said, "I am the Good Shepherd. The Good Shepherd is even willing to give up his life to protect the sheep. A person who's paid to look after the sheep will not do this. When they see a wolf coming, they just run away and leave the sheep with no one to protect them. This is because someone who's just paid to look after the sheep as a job is not truly the shepherd and does not own the sheep. But I am the Good Shepherd, and I know my sheep very well. My sheep also know me and hear my voice when I call them. I lay down my life for my sheep by standing between them and the wolf so that they are safe. I have some other sheep that you've not met yet. I must call them, and they will listen to my voice too. Then there will be one flock with one shepherd. This is why the Father loves me, because I'm ready to die for my sheep. But I'm also ready to be raised to life again. No one takes my life from me. I choose to lay it down. I have the power to lay my life down, and I have the power to take it up again. This is God's plan, and I'm going to live it out."
People in Jesus' time knew how caring and brave a good shepherd had to be, and this story helped them to understand how much Jesus loved them and protected them, and even that one day he would die on a cross for them. The story also reminds us that it's important to hear Jesus' voice and follow him, and to welcome in others so that we're like one flock with one shepherd. We don't always get it right. This little song we're about to hear is quite funny, but it makes a serious point. Jesus is still our good shepherd, even if we wander astray. I thought for our craft today we'd make a little origami sheep to remind us that we're grateful to have the Good Shepherd looking after us. I thought I'd made this before, but I asked one or two people, including Jeff, who films it and records it every week, and they thought I hadn't, but apologies if you've seen this little sheep before. Jeff, can you just see if my bit of paper shows in the thing?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, right, I'm going to make this sort of slightly upside down to me. All you need is a square piece of paper. Ordinary white paper would be good, but I've got lots of origami paper, so I'm using that. And the first thing you're going to do is fold your paper into a triangle. So you've got the square, you're going to fold it into a triangle facing you. I'm going to fold it in half again then, so that I get a little line down the middle. That'll serve me as a marker. So I've got a triangle with a marker down the middle. Then halfway along this side, I'm going to make just a little kind of fold so I can see what I'm doing, and the same on the other side so that they match. And I'm going to fold over a piece there and a piece there to make the sheep's ears. So the corners of my triangle are making the sheep's ears. After that, I've nearly finished the actual shape. I'm going to fold a little bit back, just a little point back on the ear, because sheep don't have very pointy ears. And I'm going to fold a little bit back on the bottom, because sheep don't have very pointy chins. And there I've got my sheep face. Now, to make it look a bit more like a sheep, if you've got some cotton wool, you can glue a bit of cotton wool on the top. That's what I'm going to do, especially as my paper's a bit spotty looking. Not sure that my glue is very sticky at the moment. And I'm going to put a couple of eyes on. If you've got wobbly eyes, they would be great. But I'm going to use some spots for my eyes. And I haven't got a pen, but you could always do a nice little dark nose down at the bottom. And there we have a little sheep face. If you want, you can write on the back of it, "I'm glad I have the Good Shepherd looking after me." So please join us now in this prayer, and you'll be able to see which bits particularly to join in with from the bold print. Lord, when we feel lost and confused, help us to follow the Good Shepherd.
When we need encouragement to care for others,
help us to follow the Good Shepherd. When we're afraid of the wolves, help us to follow the Good Shepherd.
When we're enjoying good pasture and rest,
help us to follow the Good Shepherd. Send us out to be faithful sheep and help us to follow the Good Shepherd. Amen.